Meagan, if you have time, I would love for you to stay with us to discuss what we have prepped for our SALT segment, because I think that your insights would be truly appreciated in basically debunking the ridiculous talking points that were expressed in an op-ed for The Hill. And it has everything to do with some of the propaganda that employers have been using regarding the issue of choice, the issue of being able to set your own hours, or we're not going to give you, a limited amount of vacation time. You get to take as much time as you want off, but in reality, it's a trap to make you feel like crap if you do take time off. So in this particular case, and by the way, are you able to stay? I don't want to assume you can.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great. So
Yes,
it's this op-ed that was written by Patrice Onwuka. She's the director for the Center of Economic Opportunity. Sounds like a great name for an organization. Usually means that it's the opposite of what it's expressing. But she writes this piece about how, what women love, women specifically, is the ability to set their own hours. And that's the reason why they're actually huge supporters, proponents of gig work, right? And I'm going to read a few excerpts and we can kind of discuss. So she writes, even before COVID-19, flexibility was of utmost importance to women working in the gig economy. A majority prefer to be independent contractors, not employees of the companies that contract their services. This is very different from the narrative that organized labor, union-backed lawmakers, journalists, and activist groups are pushing. They characterize big tech companies like Uber and Amazon as plantations run by slave drivers exploiting the slaves. And then she continues by saying, nothing stirs Americans' emotions more than slavery and analogies, no matter how wrong and inappropriate. Opponents also describe independent contracting work through the gig economy as anti-worker, but there's nothing more pro-worker than controlling 100% of your labor, schedule, and decision-making. But of course, as we know, they don't control 100% of their labor. So care to weigh in on that?
Oh my God, where to start? This is an amazing document, to be honest, because I think that it's an evolution. It kind of represents an evolution in the messaging. All right, like this is a fun new twist. The idea that it's actually pro woman because flexibility is something that women need, and I want to actually unpack that a little bit. It's true that women actually often do find themselves in positions where more than men, they would like to be able to be flexible to take care of things that arise. But that's because we have a completely eviscerated social safety net, and there's been no attention paid on the part of like policy design to like how to make it possible for a working class woman to also like have a family. Right. So like, yeah, there are lots of working class women who are in a position where they like need to like jet off to like take care of something that has arisen with their like family or home life. But that's not something that we should, celebrate. It's something that we should actually fix through policy design. Childcare, for example, like, yeah, if you can't find secure childcare, then yes, it would be helpful for you to be able to choose when you work. But obviously, we should fix that by making sure that everybody has access to affordable and high quality childcare, not by making it possible for women to not to have complete and total quote unquote flexibility, i.e. no protection at their job, so that they can get paid shit and also rush off to take care of their children that the state is refusing to take care of. Like it's clearly the wrong way to think about solving this problem. And another issue that I have about this like flexibility thing, I mean, you guys were mentioning if you have unlimited PTO, then you essentially have to rely on your individual skills as a negotiator and your confidence that you're not going to get fired and your confidence that the boss likes you in order to actually take vacation. I worked it was a media tech startup place where we did have unlimited PTO, but it was also because it wasn't unionized and it was like VC funded. And, these things are very fragile. Like people were getting picked off left and right. So like during the brief time that I worked there, I saw many people get fired. And, if you're watching people get fired all around you and you have unlimited PTO, like, are you really going to go up to your boss and ask them if you can, or tell them that you're planning on taking a long vacation? Like you guys said, no, but I also want to add an additional factor to this, which is that like sexism is a real thing, and like women's confidence is often lower, especially when interacting with male bosses. And so like the likelihood that women are going to be able to feel confident and comfortable, like I think it's lower than that of their male coworkers in many cases. And so the flexibility thing doesn't really jive with what we know about women's behavior when it comes to like negotiating for themselves in the absence of just like set standard rules in the workplace. And there's other stuff in this article. You guys sent it to me earlier, and my jaw was like on the floor when I was reading it. But it just flies in the face of what we know about unionization and women's work during the pandemic. I mean, it's completely cherry picked. It is true that women have been, unlike the 2008 financial crisis, where men were more likely to lose their employment this time around because of the nature of the crisis. Women have been, right, Nando? Women have been, exactly, here we go. Women have been more likely to be laid off because of the sectors that women are more likely to work in. But if you actually break that down, the highly unionized sectors are the ones where women have not been laid off. So like in healthcare and education and, you know, like other sort of public sector work, things like that, women have not been laid off en masse, but women have been laid off in other women heavy industries where there are low unionization rates. And so that's just the truth. I mean, it's just factual. You can go look up the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's all out there. But this article does a clever little switcheroo by focusing on specific industries at the expense of the others. So it's a very expertly and finely calibrated piece of corporate propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Let me mansplain a couple things to you, pals. Women are more flexible than men. Everybody knows that. Some women can put their legs over their head. I mean, I can barely touch my toes, you know? Like, it's just, everybody knows this. Patrice is 100% correct. I mean, you ladies just don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah, and look, really what this op-ed was meant to do was to basically rally Americans against the passage of the PRO Act, which as it stands today, with how broken our Congress is, especially in the Senate, it's unlikely to pass. But nonetheless, she argues that the PRO Act aims to energize organized labor, which has seen membership numbers plummet among private sector workers. However, if passed, the bill will lead to independent contractors losing income and flexible work opportunities, as many did when California passed similar legislation. Now, as we know, the ballot initiative Prop 22 passed, which undid those California regulations. And we immediately started hearing stories from gig economy workers who actually noticed less pay as soon as this new category of workers was implemented, right? And one thing that's also missing from this discussion is the fact that while, yes, I'm sure women do want, not just women and men want more flexibility in regard to their work hours, they certainly want to be able to take paid time off in order to give birth, have a few months with the baby, make sure that, you know, she's ready to get back to work. You don't get that under the system that this woman is an advocate for. You get no benefits in most cases, really.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you guys picked a good one to like roast for this segment because, like I said, I do think it represents some kind of evolution. Concern trolling on behalf of women to sell an anti-labor. I mean, it's not like it's never been done before, but it's expertly done here. And also, Kale, could you pull up that
woke conservatism?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
That's what it
Kale,
is.
can you pull up the last slide that you had up there? I had something to say, but now it's. Oh, right. Look at this sentence. The PRO Act aims to energize organized labor, which has seen membership numbers plummet among private sector workers. This is, again, the same thing that I was talking about with the way that the New York Times changed their headline. It's like, well, the reason that's happened is because corporations have gone on a vicious offensive and have successfully ground workers down to a position of like insecurity and demoralization. But it kind of implies that workers have chosen, like you've seen membership numbers plummet in the private sector because workers are finding that unions are really just like, they're kind of a thing of the past and they're not really something that enhances their life. And so that's why membership numbers are plummeting. That's why they sprinkle those kinds of clauses into these, I don't know, like propagandistic texts that they're constantly pumping out.
I don't know. I liked it. I think she's got a bright future in the take economy.
I mean, she's got a bright present in the take economy. She's a frequent guest on Fox News, Fox Business News, PBS programs, and she hosts a column called "The New Agenda for Black Women" on Newsmax.com. So,
Yes.
Oh, wow. Nice. Cool.
yeah,
Man.
yeah. So you get where, she's coming from with this type of perspective. But, she did, I need to be fair. She did address the issue of benefits. So one final slide for you where she argues that independent contractors understand that they forego benefits and wage guarantees that employees enjoy, such as overtime, paid leave, and minimum wages, yet they choose to be independent for other reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that
This
she's
makes total
speaking on
sense.
behalf of people, it's just
Right,
no one's
right.
specific. She's like, I am going to claim that this is what gig economy workers like. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off, right? That's the constant, that's the Prop 22 campaign that happened in California. Obviously, that was the constant messaging all the way through. It was like, look, yeah, you're not going to get all of these like perks, these like little perks that you get, by being an employee. But it's a trade-off, and you'll get more independence and more flexibility. I mean, that's just over and over again. That's what they say.
Yeah, you get a ping pong table. You don't get healthcare. We get a ping pong table in the break room, and that way you stay in shape, and you don't have to use healthcare ever. There you go. Right. It's an easy trade-off.
Meagan Day, thank you as always. She's a staff writer over at Jacobin, and please check out her book, Bigger Than Bernie: How We Go from the Sanders Campaign to Democratic Socialism. Meagan, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you another time. Bye.
See you soon.
Love
All right,
Meagan
we
Day.
got Megan's awesome. I love her.
Prolific.
And
she writes like thousands of pieces for Jacobin. They're all incredibly sharp. I don't know how she does it. I struggle to write one segment a week, and she's just cranking out these takes. Love Meagan Day. Always great.